Welcome everyone back to the channel. Kyle here as always, and today we're going to take a deep dive into one of the biggest lines of all time. I still single-handedly feel this is the line of figures that drove people to collect, hardcore collecting, hardcore secondary market, resale value until the bottom dropped out. And I'm talking about starting lineups. A lot of us probably remember starting lineups back in the day. They were huge. Coming out in 1988, the first series, all the way up to the late 90s. I would say about 91, 92 is when they really started to explode. People were hunting the stores. I have tons of memories as a kid going with my dad. My dad was about the hardcore of the hardcore collectors. You see all this in the background? My dad was that way with starting lineups when I was a kid. And some of you guys might even be old enough to remember back in the day, you know, Toys R Us opening up at 10 a.m. There's 15 people waiting at the door to get in to see if there's starting lineups there. Luckily back then I was a kid. I had no shame. I was a dead sprint through those doors. 40, 50-year-old guys chasing after me, but I would always get the lineups first because I had no shame. I was running as fast as I possibly could to get the case, to find the new products, the new figures. A lot of great memories as a kid going to the starting lineup convention in Ohio. Just a lot of good memories with starting lineups as a kid and how great they were. But then the bottom dropped out. You know, they were very, very sought after. There's a couple still that hold their value, but not many. They were worth a ton of dollars at one time. The bottom fell out. Starting lineups got ushered out when McFarlane stepped into the arena. You know, McFarlane changed the action figure superhero lines, took that to the next level, and he did the same thing for sports figures and made the starting lineups pretty much obsolete, killed the line, and here we are today. But I really wanted to do a deep dive on Chicago Bulls figures, specifically Michael Jordan. As we all know, the Last Dance documentary on ESPN is blowing up the airwaves right now. A lot of people nostalgic for Michael Jordan back in the day. You know, he was huge. I mean, I don't know if kids right now can compare it to how big he was in the 90s. And his stuff is on fire. But I was talking to my dad, and lo and behold, he dropped off a package at my front doorstep. And it's basically the whole starting lineup Bulls collection of what he has left in his collection. So I thought it would be fun. It's probably been 20 years since I've looked at this stuff. Thought it'd be fun, me opening it with for the first time. I haven't looked what's in these boxes. We'll see. For the first time, I'll see this stuff in 20 years and see what kind of memories come back, and maybe talk about a few of the pieces and just go over it, you know. And maybe you guys will leave some comments on some of your starting lineup memories, maybe even your Michael Jordan memories. But I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of good stuff you guys are really going to enjoy seeing in these boxes. So hope you guys enjoy a little starting lineup talk. A little blast from the past for sure. And let's get into a Michael Jordan Chicago Bulls deep dive. All right, everybody, let's dig in. So there was one on the top that I saw because it wasn't in a box. So we'll start with that one. And this could be one of my favorite starting lineups of all time. It is the 1992 starting lineup Dream Team set. You know, we all hopefully remember the Dream Team. Take a good look here. What a set. This was an amazing set back in the day. Starting lineups had done box sets in the past of the teams, like the Oakland A's, Chicago Cubs, team sets before, but nothing like this, and really nothing in the basketball arena. The 92 Dream Team was amazing. It was one of the awesomest things ever. It was basically the NBA All-Star team going to work for the United States, to defend our country's honor on the basketball court. You know, before we were sending college players and stuff, whoever wanted to go, they never took it seriously. Finally, the NBA got together and brought the Dream Team together to win the gold. So, and they did. You know, they were amazing. They dominated. It was a heck of a team. Let's just. I showed you the front. There's the top, showing a little bit of everybody. I love this packaging. I only have one gripe, and I'll get into it. But the packaging is awesome. They use the top of the packaging instead of leaving that blank. You got the side with all the pictures of the guys on there. Look at Chris Mullin. Just looking only like he can look. And then you got the other guys on the side. USA Basketball logo. You know, on the bottom. They had them on the bottom and on the top. There's the back. Kind of basketball cards, I guess, if you wanted to, you could cut out. very, very awesome set. Really a kind of first of its kind, like I said. If I could see behind this huge box. My only gripe, and you can see it here, you know, if this came out today, I would hope, but I love the nostalgic packaging. It brings up a lot of memories for me, but it drives me nuts, the backgrounds behind the figures. It's just plain. I would have loved a USA logo, basketball logo there, some kind of a decoration to really make this thing pop even more. But really awesome. I remember having the Dennis Rodman jersey as a kid from the USA basketball. Or not Dennis Rodman, David Robinson. Sorry. Excuse me, the Admiral, David Robinson. Heck of a team. Michael Jordan, David Robinson, Charles Barkley, Scottie Pippen, Larry Bird, John Stockton, Chris Mullin, Karl Malone, Patrick Ewing, Magic Johnson. But there was also Clyde Drexler. For some reason, I'm not sure why he isn't in this pack. The Drex was on the team. The other one, some people don't remember, is Christian Laettner. Laettner was on this team as well. However, he was in college at the time, and I believe that is why he didn't get his figure in here, as, you know, the college rules of getting paid to play and all that kind of fun stuff. But just an amazing set. I have to imagine, I haven't seen what this is worth in a while. Probably not a ton, but it has to be one of the better worth starting lineups out there, just because of how big the Dream Team was back in the day. So definitely a cool piece. So now we're getting into the box. So I haven't opened any of these. This is going to be, I'm going to reach my hand in. I took the lid off. I'm going to reach my hand in, see what I grab, and we'll go from there. Oh, here we go. Well, I know what's coming here, so I better get a few of them out at once. Hold on. Get a little Dennis Rodman. Yeah, we all remember Dennis Rodman, I'm sure, from the Piston days, wrestling days, of course, in the NWO, but also his Chicago Bulls time frame and his wacky hair colors. And starting lineups were no different. They released different colors. So this is the 96 edition. You got an orange hair and you got a green hair, Dennis Rodman. I'll give you a shot of the green there. You know, the packaging was so cool on these back in the day, but now, you know, they look very plain to today's standards. Very basic 96 edition. You know, 50th anniversary of the NBA logo up there. Basically, all they did do is put a different card in there. You get to the back, you know, nothing. Nothing that screams Dennis Rodman. So it's basically one size fits all, and it goes from there. But basically, it was just a figure and a card. And you would see card errors, you know, like any factory would mess up. But really going back now and looking at these, boy, how cheap these were probably to produce. And even the molds on the starting lineups, you know, it was the same, you know, 10 molds or whatever, and they just slap a different head on there and paint them and put the number in jersey. Bam, there you go. And that went for baseball, football, hockey, basketball, you know, everything. But so cool at the time, especially the Rodmans. When you're out there hunting, you're like, oh my gosh, I found the orange hair, I found the green hair. I'm trying to remember what year, but there was one year, the red-haired Rodman. I don't think it was this orange one. Maybe we'll see it and it'll get my memory going. But there was a red-haired Rodman, and it was almost mythical. It was so hard to find. It came later on. It's like the last, you know, the line would be released, and then there'd be cases that came through, and then you go to the next year. Well, at the very end of the year, I don't know if it was 96, 97. I should have probably researched that before, but I didn't know this was going to pop up to me. That red-haired Rodman came in those cases, and it was so hard to find. Couldn't find him anywhere. And I remember my dad and I went to a hole-in-the-wall Target that's not known to get very good figures ever, very small Target. We went in there, I remember it was like a Saturday afternoon or something, and we found two of those red-haired Rodmans. I mean, the amazing money those things were selling for at the time, like $400 on eBay, early eBay days. Just amazing how much those were worth and how rare that red-haired Rodman is. But like I said, I have to research it and see. But there's the red, or the orange and the green, 96 edition Rodman. You know, one thing too, we'll talk a little all around starting lineup. They were always known for their quirky tag at the top. You can see that right at the top there. Ages 4 to 104. I always thought that was kind of hilarious. I'm like, who's collecting at 104? But I'm sure there's somebody. I'm sure at 104 I'll be collecting something. We'll see. I got a ways to go, but we'll get there. Let's see what else we got. Oh, we got more Rodmans. So this could be the one. This could be the 97 Rodman. It's the red hair. I'm thinking it is. I'm thinking this was the one that was worth a fortune. You know, $400-500 at its peak. The red-haired Rodman. So I got two of these here. Very interesting. The proof of purchase on the back is a sticker. not a sticker on these other ones, so I wonder what that means. There's the back on it. Same back as others. It lists all the teams that are in the line there. You know, the other thing is, look at this, Starting Lineup Collectors Club. Get inside all the action to become a member of the Starting Lineup Collectors Club. Only club members have access to purchase special edition club pieces of the greatest athletes of past and present. And that was a big deal. You know, my dad and I were a member of that the Starting Lineup Collectors Club. And they had a figure every year, maybe twice a year if I remember. I can't remember any off the top of my head. But there was some good figures that you could only get as a member of the club. And I remember those were in pretty high demand. I believe, if I'm right, I had a subscription, and my dad also had a subscription. To join for just 1 year, copy the form below and send it with a check or money order for $8.99, payable to Hasbro Promotions. So $8.99, you got a year, and I want to say there was like 4 little magazines a year, probably bi-monthly. I remember there would be delays all the time. They'd send a note out that, oh, it's late going to press or whatever. It was almost like a fold-out glossy newspaper, so it was big, kind of like a sports, like a sports page or whatever it was trying to be. But there's 2 more Rodmans. I think these could be the mythical red Rodmans. I'll have to look that up, and I'd be curious to see what they're even going for now. Let's get into some more here. Oh, here's one. Mr. Scottie Pippen, 94 edition Scottie Pippen. You can see the front there, but you can also see the back. Very consistent over the years in the backs of these. The teams, the Collectors Club on the bottom. Number 33, the Bulls, Scottie Pippen. Michael Jordan's amazing, but Pippen, overshadowed. And Pippen was really good as well, as we all know. Also wore number 3. A lot of greats wore that number 33. I always wanted to be number 33 with Jose Canseco, Larry Bird, Patrick Ewing, Scottie Pippen. A lot of great 33s over the years. Here's another Dennis Rodman. Geez, they keep coming. 96 edition. Is that what we saw first? It was. So we have another 96. This one is the yellow hair. So a couple of different Dennis Rodmans in the lineup here. No pun intended, starting lineup. What do we got? Oh, another Scottie Pippen. And this is actually my favorite mold they used on the basketball. I remember when this mold first came out, I was like, holy cow, game changer. Game changer. Loved this Scottie Pippen. Loved all the figures that came with this little hop step layup type thing. It was so different than just the 3 or 4 they used in the first couple of series. This is 96 edition. By then, that had been out for a while. But very good, yeah. So here we go, right here. So join the Starting Lineup Collectors Club and receive exclusive rights to special edition starting lineup figures of sporting greats like Nolan Ryan and other legends. I always wanted that Nolan Ryan, Robin Ventura headbutt punch, one of the greatest baseball moments of all time. I would have loved if they would have put that in a starting lineup. A lot of us did. We got the loose ones, put them together, and made that happen on our own. Let's see who we got. These are the ones that aren't in bubbles, protective bubbles, so I'm guessing they're not as the important ones. And oh, here is one, 1994. B.J. Armstrong. I don't know if a lot of you guys remember B.J. Armstrong. We won't hold it against him too hard that he was an Iowa Hawkeye. Me being a staunch Iowa State supporter, went to Iowa State for college. But B.J. was part of the enemy. But cool to see an Iowa guy get a starting lineup figure, that is for sure. So I'm sure that's a hot commodity around these parts, as BJ's legend still looms very large. All right, now we're getting into the Michael Jordan stuff, I'm guessing, because they're all in protective cases, and I'm exactly right. So this was an okay Jordan. This was probably the height of popularity of starting lineups, this Jordan here, the 93 edition. You can see right here, Michael in the package there. 2 cards that year, which was a change of pace. They usually only had 1 card. Like I said, 93 edition. Let's see, exclusive top Stadium Club card included in this. And if some of you guys remember for you old school card collectors, the Stadium Club cards were the the higher priced ones that Topps made over just the regular one. I love the Stadium Club. That was probably one of my favorites, them in Upper Deck. It says on the back here, Collector Club offer. See back for details. Expires 6/1/94, so we just missed it, unfortunately. Would have been nice to get in on that, but we'll read the back here, see if there's anything we need to know. They're pushing the newsletter again. Oh, here we go. I think this was the first newsletter edition figure, and it was an awesome one. You can see on the bottom, Shaquille O'Neal, slam dunk star. Very cool for its time. I mean, it doesn't look like much now, 18, 17 years later. But boy, that was a game changer. I remember how cool that was. The only bad thing, it didn't come on a card or anything. It just came in a white plain box you put together. But it was so cool to get a slam dunking with a hoop and everything. That was the one thing that I always wanted, a baseball field or a hoop. I'm surprised they never came out with one you could buy like a whole field or a whole hockey arena. Something like that. That would have been really cool. I like the promotional pack on the back here. Old school. It reminds you of an old school Sears catalog or JCPenney's catalog with the figures. The spots and pictures there that try to get you. Promoting on the back, Shaquille O'Neal. That was one of the biggest ones ever. That was a huge one, his rookie figure. Clyde Drexler, Christian Laettner, Stacey Augmon, Larry Johnson, Grandmama in the lineup. Scottie Pippen. This Pippen was really good in the warm-up gear. I did love the warm-up gear figures as well. Karl Malone in warm-up gear, Charles Barkley, Horace Grant, Alonzo Mourning, Mark Price, one of the most underrated guys ever. I loved Mark Price for the Cavaliers. I loved all these 90s. This was my time in the NBA from like 88 to 95. I was watching a lot of NBA basketball, and these were my guys. But yeah, a very good one. This Michael Jordan was a high dollar one at the height of lineup frenzy. Let's see what we got next. Oh, here we go. Michael Jordan, I believe 92. Let me look here. Yep, 1992, my memory. It's still going a little bit. So, 92 Superstar. This one, they came with a poster and a card. This is Michael Jordan in his warm-up gear, which I told you, I love the warm-up gear. Look at that. Premier, it promotes on the back, Premier NBA Edition Headline Collection. If you guys remember the Headline Collection at all, it was a little base with the figure, and then it had a kind of a framed newspaper article of a big moment. I remember I have the Jose Canseco one in my storage room when he hit the 40-40. But they had one for a lot, Michael Jordan included. The 92 editions were great. You can see on the back 92 edition, there's the lineup there with the promo shots. You see that Magic Johnson in purple? There was an extremely rare gold variant Magic Johnson that was extremely hard to get. I'm not sure exactly where it went. I don't remember if my dad had that or not, but I remember it was almost mythical. I think we did come across it, but very extremely hard to get. And I remember a lot of people wanting that one. Magic Johnson was very hot back in the day as well. Some of the other guys on the back here, Kevin Johnson, of course, Scottie Pippen. Pippen and Jordan always were in there. Manute Bol was a favorite of mine. I remember his always was super cheap and not worth anything, but I have, just like wrestling figures, I love people in face paint, and I love giants. There wasn't anybody bigger than Manute Bol back in the day. So I love that Manute Bol figure. I remember having to have it. I remember getting it for like $8 or something, and that was like after it came out at like a card store. Not a lot of Manute Bol fans out there, unfortunately. But I'll never forget the time when he drained like 10 threes in a game. It was crazy. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, we got another Jordan. This must have been the year they came out with 2 Jordans. It was. So yeah, that's interesting. I remember this, but I can't remember why. If there was like a later on set. This is another 92 edition, Michael Jordan. Obviously, it makes a lot of sense. Who's the biggest star? Who's going to move the most units? Let's pack more Michael Jordans in there. This could have been a later update, I think. This was either the first one or the other one. Like the first set of wave of cases might have had this one. The other one might have had the others. But same year, special series poster, Michael Jordan. Much better. I love the dribbling pose. That's one of my all-time favorite starting lineup poses. Let's see. We're continuing. Oh, this could be the best one. Now, that when I think of starting lineup Michael Jordan, I think of the warm-up suit, and I think of this one. This is the 1991 edition that came with a coin in the yellow card, but the famous Michael Jordan slam dunk. This has got to be one of the most wanted Jordans, just because this is what people remember when they think of Jordan. This is the 91 edition, so the year before the ones we were just showing. On the back here, they got a checklist, which is always nice. It's very funny, the 88, 89 series, they made 4 or 5 guys from every single team in baseball, football, and basketball. Well, that was great. That's a lot of figures. After that, they toned it down to, 20 in a set. But at that time, they had a ton. And they were all done regionally. Being a huge Oakland A's fan, we had to go to hobby stores and stuff like that to get a lot of those Oakland A's players because they weren't released in the central United States. You know, we got Twins, Royals, Cubs, sometimes some Indians, and every once in a while Astros. There was always a lot of Mike Scotts floating around town. Nobody wanted Mike Scott, but very, very cool 91 edition with the coin on the back. I was just talking about those headline collections, and they show them on the back. They're promoting them in 91 here. You can see it's the baseball line though, but very, very cool at the time. I mean, we got to think, we take a lot of this stuff for granted now, but boy, way back in the day, this was so ahead of its time. And kids like myself, we were screaming for sports figures of anything. We loved baseball cards. Baseball cards were at their zenith, their biggest popularity, and these went hand in hand with them. I forgot about this on the bottom. So you could cut out the backing card here, and you could make it into a display, and it looks like, you can read it on the very bottom here. Hopefully you can see that, maybe not. But you can get an autograph. You're supposed to take it to get autographed, and you can put a little display together using the package, which I guess is a form of recycling. So Kenner's starting lineup, way ahead of its time. Should mention too, that Kenner logo. We all know that Kenner logo down there at the bottom. We've seen it on a million toys over the years. Unfortunately, Kenner was bought up by Hasbro. Kenner's no longer around, but holy cow, was Kenner a big deal back in the day. Oh, here it is. I think this is the one. This, I believe, is the red-haired Rodman, the 94 edition. I think. I don't know. Don't quote me, but I got a feeling. Here's two Rodmans. We got a yellow and a red-haired 94 edition. This is when Rodman played on the Spurs. You know, the Spurs were a sleeper team back in the day with Rodman and the Admiral. A very good team. So two Dennis Rodman 94s right there. Like I said, I got to track down and figure out which one's the red hair and which one is the right one. Okay, now we're going to get to the other box. So my dad gave me two big tubs of Jordan stuff. Now this one is a little different. I don't know if there's any starting lineups. Just looking at the top here, this is going to be a lot about Michael Jordan signed licensing deals outside for himself. So we had Space Jam figures, and then a very rare set that a lot of people, I bet you, don't even know about. Basically, right at the end of the 90s, Michael Jordan had his own line of figures, and he partnered with Mattel for them, not Kenner. So they look like starting lineups, but I always remember them being a little bit better. So let's dive into this stuff. And we'll start right on the top. Look at this. Tea Time Michael Space Jam Special Edition figure, all Galaxy collection. Michael Jordan. Look at this one. Golf outfit. You know, Michael Jordan loves golf, as we all know. I wonder if he comes with a cigar and a scotch with him, but it does not. It looks like it says incredible detail, but that would be the incredible detail. If he had like a big wad of money where he could gamble with, and maybe a cigar and maybe a scotch with him, that would be pretty awesome. But it says golf outfit worn by Michael in the Space Jam movie. Space Jam player stand, hole-in-one driver. Very, very cool. But yeah, there it is. Look at that. Michael Jordan golfing, almost like a Barbie doll type deal. You can see the top there, maybe. Side. Tea Time Michael. We all know Michael loved to golf. These were Playmates made these. You might remember Playmates. I most remember Playmates from Ninja Turtles, of course. Here's the back. Also, they had, I don't know if they'll be in the box or not, but it looks like they made him in basketball and baseball gear. Let's see, I'll read the back here. Tea Time Michael, the high-flying king of the court, drives it to the green. Michael Jordan perfects the switch from the court to the links with golf as his favorite leisure sport. Michael unleashes a beautiful drive off the tee. The ball rises high into the sky, then swoops down in a perfect arc onto the green, landing about 40 feet from the pin. Too bad you can't dunk a putt, Mike, says his golfing buddies. Oh, man, I love it. But wait, the shot isn't over yet. There's some kind of backspin working on it. It's actually moving on its own towards the hole. Now it's stopped. ... No, it's moving. And again. Suddenly, Bugs Bunny's head pops out of the hole. Wow, what a plot twist. Try and get me, Doc. Bugs disappears back into the hole, and Mike's ball follows after a hole-in-one? In Looney Tunes land, anything can happen. Wow, that's a magical story. I wasn't expecting that. That's something else, but that's Tea Time Michael. Next up, oh, here we go. More Space Jam. Michael Jordan Bugs Bunny with Hyper Lane Surfer. Oh boy, now we're getting it. I was never a Space Jam guy. I'm sure some of you guys were. I was probably just a few years old. It was too goofy for me. It just didn't really hit me where I needed to be hit at this time of my life. I was cool for the Michael Jordan. It was cool to get sports figures, but I could have done without the Bugs Bunny figures, to be honest with everybody. Playmates made these, ages 4 and up, not 4 to 104. There's a lot of Space Jam toys out there. Obviously, a lot of Michael Jordan's involved. The Looney Tunes gang have gotten themselves into a real jam. Some would say a Space Jam. By challenging a crew of tiny space aliens to an all-or-nothing basketball game for their freedom. The Looney Tunes didn't know that the Nerdlucks could transform into a basketball squad of monstrous proportions. The Monstars. The Toon Squad needs a ringer fast to save them from impending doom. Who better than basketball's greatest all-time player, Michael Jordan? Can the Toon Squad pull together to beat the Monstars? It's a game where literally anything can happen. And that sums up Space Jam to a T. I mean, that is Space Jam. It looks like there's one more Space Jam figure here. I see at the bottom, receive a $3 mail-in rebate when you buy any 2 Warner Brothers Looney Tunes videos plus a Space Jam toy. Man, you could get all kinds of great VHS tapes. Jordan in his very smiley Jordan here in his Toon Squad jersey. Let's see. There he is. The blue. Like he was going to play for the New York Knicks. There's that promo on his back I was telling you about. The back is the same word and same story, which is good. I didn't want to have to read another one. This is Michael Jordan and Sylvester with Sky Stilts and Plunger Stuffer. Wow. And there was also, boy, they're really promoting this line. There's another special offer. Special offer. Redeem Warner Bucks for savings on Warner Brothers Looney Tunes videos or admission to Six Flags theme parks. Wow. So there it is. I don't know. Doesn't do anything for me. Like I said, the back of the card is pretty much the same as the others. Oh, now here's one. Space Jam continues. A lot of you guys probably fondly remember this big talking Michael Jordan. Let's see. The back. Yep, it's the same story on the back there. Michael takes 2 AA batteries, replace the cover. Yep. He says, let's play some basketball. And I really enjoyed playing with you guys. Interesting. Very cool. You know, a lot of people probably had this one back in the day. I can see a lot of kids wanting this. Let's see. Does there anybody got any guesses if this thing will work? I mean, what year was this made? This would have been 1996. So we're looking a ways away here. This is 24 years old. Let's see if we can play it and listen up.
I really enjoy playing with you guys.
Whoa, he works.
Let's play some basketball. I really enjoy playing with you guys. Let's play some basketball.
I mean, it works like brand new, and this has never been out of the package. So can you imagine those batteries working that long? I wonder what the heck. Must have been Duracell. I think Duracell lasts the longest. These aren't some junky batteries in here. Comes with a big stand for him to stand on. You know, hard plastic. Comes with a ball. Very good likeness for Michael Jordan back in the day. But yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of people that had this. Pretty cool, actually. I'm sure if you're a serious Michael Jordan collector, you have this in your collection. Oh, but it looks like the Space Jam continues. Will it ever end? Michael Jordan, Elmer Fudd with Flight School Flinger. Always dreamed as a kid of an Elmer Fudd Michael Jordan 2-pack, and my wildest dreams came true on my 16th birthday in 96, and they brought this one out. Very, very similar to everything else. I love that they had Warner Buck points you could clip out on the back here. Very similar to G.I. Joe flag points. I always loved that. It incentivized you to buy more. You'd collect X amount of these, and you could send them in and get a free figure or a discount or something like that. I always thought that was a great idea, and more toys should do that to this day. It'll make people buy some stuff. Okay, now we're jumping in. I'm surveying the scene here. Let's see what we got. If I can get it out. So here's what I was talking about. Michael Jordan signed his own collection with Mattel. Broke away on his own. Very smart. As we know, everybody wanted a piece of Michael Jordan. you're going to throw money at him, he'll make his own toy line, I'm sure. I would do the same thing. So these are limited edition starting lineup S toys made by Mattel, called the Hoop Highlight Series, Michael Jordan Commemorative Series, Maximum Air was the line. So starting lineups were the other ones. These were called Maximum Air. So top flight achievements, Michael Jordan. So you can see, very similar to a starting lineup in size. Very similar across the board of a starting lineup. However, a lot more detail and a little different poses to them. So this is Rookie of the Year Hoop Highlight Series, it says on the side. So let's see what it says in the back here. Unstoppable, unbeatable, unquestionably one of the greatest players in NBA history. His awesome talent and spectacular moves led the Chicago Bulls to an incredible 6 NBA championships. This sensational superstar never stopped reaching new heights and setting new records. For Michael Jordan, the sky was truly the limit. I love these things. I could read these all day. It comes with a checklist on the back. 3.5-inch figures, and apparently there was also 6-inch figures. So that perks my ear up now. Is 3 3/4 was the scale. These were 3 3/4. G.I. Joe 3 3/4. He-Man wasn't too much bigger than that. That was kind of the scale that everybody died and lived and died with. Now it's a 6-inch scale world. That's primarily, most figures are 6-inch. So be interesting to see if we have the 6-inch ones. Very hard to probably see the back of this. Very there's kind of a reflection to it, a reflector back. Very cool packaging, though. All right, let's see what we got for the next one. Oh, here we go. NBA All-Star MVP Series. The rest is all the same, but this is the All-Star MVP Series. I do remember these All-Star jerseys. That hits you, if anybody remembers back in the day with those. Very cool tealish kind of blue with a new dunking pose that was different than the starting lineup pose. That's a pretty cool Jordan. This is from 1988 All-Stars, it says. I don't think, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think that's an 88 All-Star jersey. So I think that might be a little wonky in Mattel's part. I don't believe this jersey's from 88. Correct me if I'm wrong, if any of you guys know, but that doesn't look to be the case. But another one in the set there. Yeah, there's a lot of these. Oh, this one's very classic, Michael Jordan. Playoff Domination. Championship Series 1991. Very cool. That's the height of Michael Jordan craze, the craze of Jordan. 91, and that's another cool pose. You got the mustache in there. Very cool. Playoff Domination. All right, what do we got next? Oh, another one. This says Hoop Highlights 3 of 3. I don't like him dunking on my boy Larry Bird. I like to think of myself as the Larry Bird of action figure collecting. Larry Bird being my favorite growing up. One for the record books. Hoop Highlights. Playoff Sensation. Michael Jordan. Another great pose. This is a very underrated line. MattelHoops.com. I wonder if the URL still works. Very underrated line. Like I said, I bet you most people have never even heard of this line or see this. They were not out very long, about a year, and they really flew under that radar pretty quick. Here's another one. Championship Moments, 1992. There we go. Another one. Red jersey. See if they got the mustache. Yep. I believe same exact head. Yeah. So I think what they did was they just took that same head on a lot of these. That's toy company, especially back then. People weren't paying attention. Oh, here's another one. NBA All-Stars 3 of 3. Premier Offensive Leader. I don't remember these jerseys. I'm sure they're true to form, though. Not too shabby there with the blue. There's the side. Yep. So another one. Haven't come across any 6-inch figures. I'd be really interested to see if I have any in here. What's next? Oh, here we go. Superstar in the Making. Hoop Highlights College Player of the Year. Now this was really awesome because I think back to starting lineups, until the later years, they never made people in their college jerseys. I think that was tough to do. The licensing was hard, expensive. They signed an agreement with the NBA, for example. I don't think they wanted to sign one with each school. But look at this one. I think this was predated starting lineup. So this is Jordan in his North Carolina jersey. Like I said, very rare. Later on, they did do that. But I think Mattel beat them to the punch on college outfits. I remember how big of a deal that was, and then when Starting Lineup adapted it, it was even a bigger deal. We continue on. This is a new pose here. So this is championship. So we saw 91, we saw 92. Here's the 93 championship figure. I like the little dribble step pose there. These all came with a card, very similar to the starting lineups. Very good. What do we got next? Apparently these were purchased at Kmart. Not a lot of people went to Kmart even back to this day. NBA Court Collection. Is this the same? Yep, Upper Deck. So this is a partnership with Upper Deck and Mattel. So these are a little different than the other ones. This is the more the regular release. I did forget at one. Then I think they took over, and they did, because there's Glenn Rice, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, Vin Baker, Dennis Rodman. You can see the back. They made quite an arsenal of figures. So this is 98-99 season, Mattel. So they had a Michael Jordan subline, and then they had a traditional line as well. So they had the Rebound series, Mutombo, Dennis Rodman, Sean Bradley, there's a giant, Tim Duncan, Masters of the Dunk, Sean Kemp, Kobe Bryant, Alonzo Mourning, Kevin Garnett, Shooting Sensations, Reggie Miller, Rodney Rogers, Grant Hill, Glenn Rice, Stars of the West, Vin Baker, Gary Payton, Damian Stoudemire, Jason Kidd, Stars of the East, Allen Iverson, Allen Houston, Ray Allen, Anthony Hardaway, Rising Stars, Keith Van Horn, Chris Webber, Antoine Walker, Juwan Howard, Living Legends, Michael Jordan, John Stockton, Scottie Pippen, Charles Barkley. So some different figures in that line too. So interesting to see. I don't really recall this, but $6.99 back in the day at good old Kmart. Not many Kmarts left. And what do we got here? Living Legends, 2 of 4, 98-99 season. So yeah, this was from that same series. Jordan Duncan there. Very good. And the same back, of course. So 2 more Mattels there. Stick those there for now, huh? And what do we got? Oh, another NBA All-Star. All-Star Series, the sensational Air Jordan. I remember these outfits for sure in the All-Star game that year. So Maximum Air continues. Jordan. Stick that bad boy right there, huh? All right, we got 2 left. What is this? Oh. So this is I do not recall this one at all. The History of Dennis Rodman. Look at that. Pistons, Spurs, Bulls. That's a pretty cool 3-pack. This would be cool if you're a Rodman fan. Get this thing autographed on the window box. Get a nice paint pen. NBA Superstars profiles the colorful career of a fabulous forward, Dennis Rodman. The remarkable player has been a member of 5 NBA championship teams, 3 with the Bulls and 2 with the Pistons. Jump back in time and relive Rodman's greatest moves from the Pistons to the Spurs to the Chicago Bulls. Only player in NBA history to win back-to-back championships with 2 different teams. Led the NBA in rebounding in 97-98 for a record 7th consecutive season. Grabbed the 10,000th rebound of his career against the Washington Bullets on January 14, 1997. Named to the NBA All-Defensive First Team 7 times. Made his Lakers debut against the Clippers on February 26, 99. What year did this come out? This came out in 99, so I guarantee they would have made a 4-pack in Lakers gear if they could have. However, I'm sure this was already planned ahead of time. They probably didn't get to it, and away you went. And I thought I saw, I'm not going to go through this whole bag of Lucy's, but there it is. What do you know? Dennis Rodman, Lakers. This must have been a later set, but I have a whole bag of loose Bulls figures. I won't go through that. But very interesting, Dennis Rodman and the Lakers there. But a very cool 3-pack. I wonder if they made any more. This would be some research that would need to be done. Did they make some more 3-packs? We got 1 left, and I think I just answered my own question. Oh, it's a 2-pack. So look at this. Michael Jordan Showcase, commemorating Michael Jordan's rookie season and final season. So another one, that a cool package, cool box. These would be great to get autographed. I would love to see that. Michael Jordan Showcase. Look at that. Now this is awesome. This is a cool box set here. So no 6-inch figures. I don't know if they just didn't come out in my area. My dad didn't want them. Maybe he still has them in storage somewhere. I don't know. Or maybe he was a purist and only wanted the 3 3/4 line. It wasn't going to go up to another scale. He was only collecting this line to keep it all together. I totally understand that. Comes with 1 card. yeah, I think a lot of Jordan fans would want this one. This is something that probably a lot haven't seen. Like I said, how cool would paint pen be on the front of this thing with Michael Jordan autograph? But that is all she wrote. So I hope you guys had fun going down kind of a memory lane of Mattel's, but starting lineups. We'll call them all starting lineups because that's what they were made to be. That's what we all fondly remember. Michael Jordan, Dennis Rodman seemed to be the story, but we had a little B.J. Armstrong. We had a few other guys. Heck, we even had a guest appearance by Luke Longley. You can never go wrong with a little Luke Longley. I mean, this one's probably worth $10,000 on its own. But there you have it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, please comment. I think there's a lot of discussion we could have here. What was your team you collected of starting lineups? Did you collect starting lineups? You know anything about them? Did you hate them? I remember just the wild times of hunting these figures and the madness. And, you know, every weekend there was a card show and people would be selling these things. And the aftermarket, the scalpers, the crazy stuff. You know, we used to have a guy named Ron, and Ron was an old retired guy, and all he did was hunt for action figures and sold them out of the trunk of his car. And we used to go meet up with Ron at his house or sometimes in a parking lot and got to know him, and he'd hook us up with some free deals. And I'm sure Ron's long dead now, but Ron was a big part of it all, along with my dad. Some of the greatest times ever. I mean, I could talk all day about starting lineup stories, convention stories, hunting stories. One day I'll do a video on the 93 hockey series. The hardest to find, I still say to this day, I've been in the action figure game for a long, long time. That is the hardest set to ever find, was the 93 hockey series. It was unbelievable what all went into that. That could be a really good deep dive video one day. Stay tuned for that. But anyways, there's the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for this, a lot more other action figure talk. Much more to come. I mean, we got a lot of things coming down the pipe very soon. But until then, hope you guys all stay safe, and we'll see you guys all soon.